Hello, this is Wmpyr here to talk about self-defense, especially on the aspect of offense in self-defense. Um, so if you're one of those people, and seems like this is the popular chain of thought, is that for a self-defense situation, it's better to be offensive than it is defensive. Okay, so if you're one of those people that thinks that, therefore, you want a very, very offensive style, something like what you're seeing right here, what I'm showing you guys. Like military combatives, and just do your worst on a guy with a knife, and use your knife to devastate them, to destroy them. Okay, so if that's what you think, all right, that's up to you, and to practice that is up to you. I'm not saying don't train in that. All right, that's not what I'm saying. I was I remember talking to a guy who was allegedly FBI. All right, so I met this guy, allegedly FBI. He was very interested in my knife defense program. Okay, um, actually, not my knife defense. He was interested in my knife program, right? And I remember he told me the reason was because he made it sound like he hadn't been in the field in a while, but he was going to have to do it. He was going to have at least, I don't know the details or the specifics, but more field work was coming up for him. And he said you can't always have a firearm, or even if you did have a firearm, you can't just always take it out and go guns blazing. So sometimes the knife would just be a much better alternative, is what he was saying. And he was telling me that he said, in such a situation, the more violent person wins. That's what he said flat out. If you're more violent, you're going to come out on top of that situation. Okay. And I'm not disagreeing with that. Okay. And if this guy really was FBI, that's I don't think he's the only person that thinks that. Okay. But look, I want to present to you guys today a different way of thinking. So first of all, my way of thinking is that there's three types of combat, right? Assault, fighting, and self-defense. So I'm telling you guys, practice all three, right? Because if you don't practice all three, then to me, that is what combat is made up of. It's made up of those three. So if you don't practice all three, then you're not getting a complete picture. If you're not getting a complete picture, how do you know that what you're doing is very, realistic? It can't be, because it's only one-sided. It's not the full picture. We need the entire information. You know what I mean? So that's why I believe it's important to have the full picture. Get all your facts straight as much as possible. Get as much info as you can. And then let's start figuring out what to do. So that's why those three to me are critical. Okay. Now, you guys know that I recommend to you guys, in a self-defense situation, use self-defense techniques, and it seems super obvious. In a self-defense situation, I'm not going to use assault, and in a self-defense situation, I'm not going to use fighting, because you want to use the right tool for the right situation, is what I've been telling you guys, right? So for me, that makes perfect sense. But for other people, they just don't want to let it go. And they're like, no, no, no. Or like what the FBI guy told me, is the more violent person wins. So I need to be as violent as possible. All right, so let's think of a completely different situation. Like, I'm on the phone, right? And I'm talking to customer service. This could be my cell phone provider. This could be the bank. This could be trying to pay my electrical bills, whatever, right? So I'm talking to customer service, the operator, and I find out that they're like very, very rude. They're they're being an asshole, okay? And I'm not a happy camper because who likes doing this in the first place? But I'm not rude. I'm polite, and I'm trying to talk to them and trying to figure things out or take care of whatever I need to take care of. And this person that I don't know, and they don't know me, they're a rude asshole, right? So at that point, okay, is it the more rude person wins? Should I talk back to them as rude as possible? Should I be yelling at them and cussing them out at that point? And look, I'm not going to say that that's the wrong tactic, because at the end of the day, if you could solve your situation, that's what's important, right? So I'm going to say this. Why? What is it you're trying to accomplish by doing that? Okay? So if they're being a rude asshole, and if I decide to be a rude asshole back, am I trying to accomplish something? Is that action gonna yield results? Is it the best course of action to yield the results that I'm looking for? Yes or no? To me, that's all. I'm not saying, oh, you need to do self-defense techniques for a self-defense situation because this is moral, this is ethical. No, I'm trying to go, what is the best course of action in this situation? What is the smartest, most effective, most productive thing for me to do? What do I want to do? What needs to be done? That's all. I'm thinking like a machine, all right? And the answer to me is self-defense. It just makes sense. So that's why I'm telling you guys, do self-defense. So I want you guys to think about that, right? And here's another thing to think about. Most people mirror. We mirror. So if you're hostile to me, I'm going to be hostile back to you. So you could see this happening when you get into an argument with somebody, and so you start raising your voice, they start raising their voice, you mirror each other, okay? And they throw in a cuss word, then you throw in a cuss word, you mirror, okay? And this is no different in actual like physical full contact, whether it's martial arts or not, right? You could tell a buddy and say, hey, we're going to put the boxing gloves on and we're just going to spar each other, for fun. And you're going to see that a lot of times it's going to escalate real quick. So if you are able to stay calm and go relax, a lot of times they'll sense that and they'll do the same too, But if you're scared, you don't want to lose, there's ego, and so you start hitting them hard, then they're going to start hitting you hard. People mirror. We tend to mirror, okay? So I think it's very, very natural in a violent situation, in a bad situation, for you to want to do that and go as violent as possible to the other guy. If you can. If you even can. Because if they're a seasoned criminal, they're going to make sure they have all the advantages, So good luck with that. But even if you are able to do it, so you fight violence with violence, think of it this way, okay? When was the last time you argued with somebody and you were able to convince them? Like you flat out, blown out, like fully argued with someone that had a completely different opinion. And you guys are going at it verbally. And then they go, you know what? You're right. You make more sense than me. You're more logical than me. You're right. I'm wrong. It's very rare. And the amount of work you have to do to make that happen is a lot. Okay, just like combat. In combat, if you fight someone and then you beat them and you go, see, it was a mistake for you to attack me. You screwed up by attacking me. We fought and I put you down, right? That takes a lot of work unless you're like, I don't know, 6'5", 220 jacked, special forces, you know, just someone super special, and the other person was not. So I'm just telling you that it is very, very, very difficult. So what we want in our heads, to be able to let this other person know that they screwed up, and then you're playing their game and you're mirroring them and they're mirroring you, and you're using aggression and you dominate and then you come out on top, is a very difficult game, is what I'm telling you, especially in a self-defense situation where if they're smart, like I said, if they're a seasoned criminal, they're going to make sure they have all the advantages over you. So how are you supposed to be able to do that? Okay. So that's why I'm saying in a self-defense situation, it just, like right here, you see what they're doing right here. Thankfully, in a real life, so these are military people, right? So in a real life situation, they'll never, on the battlefield, this not going to happen. They'll never be in a situation to do this, okay? And if they ever are, for some reason, the gun jammed, whatever, okay, if they do this, the other guy probably won't be armed, is what I'm thinking. The other guy probably, they're not ready at this point. So you're assaulting them. This is assault. What you're seeing here looks, they're training, so it's equal, right? The right guy and the left guy, they're pretty much equal. They're doing the same thing, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's a drill. So it looks equal, and it looks like they're fighting, right? I'm telling you, if they fought like that for real life, in real life, they would just get cut up. Both of them would be messed up. Their arms would be just all over the place. There'll be some contact made to the face. They're wearing armor, so maybe not so much to the body, but some will make it to the face, the eyes, the throat, and their arms would be cut up. It just, that's if they fought each other. An assault is kind of like what he's trying to get to is, first right here, this is equal. They're both working on speed to overwhelm the opponent. And then he goes in for that takedown. In real life, it would just be one-sided. Just a rapid boom, 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 without the other guy able to keep up, able to do anything, and then just take him down. So this is assault tactics to me. If you're going to... Because fighting-wise, it just doesn't look realistic. Fighting is like, I don't care if it's with weapons, look at MMA. It should look something more like that, where they're going back and forth. Distance is a factor. You're circling around. It's not easy to come in. You're setting up the opponent. We don't see any of that here. Nothing of that. They're just exchanging because it's a partner drill. They know exactly what to do. So they're just working on speed, both of them. This stuff right here looks fancy, looks cool. This is just speed. It's just, you're basically supposed to do this on someone that is not ready, and it's just going to be one-sided. You're just cutting them up. And then before they know it, you take them down like that. They're going to be on the ground, bloody mess, and then you're gone, or you shoot them, or you finish them off, and that's it. So that's an assault method is what they're working on right there. Okay. But to fully understand the assault method, getting into this situation is also important, because if you get in when the other guy's ready, then you're going to end up in a fight, and you'll both, like I said, be cut up. So then that's why, to me, it's very, very important to understand the three different: assault, fighting, and self-defense. You have to understand that. And then if you are in a self-defense situation, they're already like I said, pressuring you. They already have a good advantage over you, and by the time you try to reach and take out your knife, they're already going to be attacking you, and they're going to assault you, maybe with their bare hand or whatever, but they will have that kind of advantage. You won't get to your knife yet, so that would be a self-defense situation. So in that case, if your mind's going, we're going to do this to the guy, but it's a self-defense situation. This won't come out. You won't be, it's not the right tool for that situation. They would have to really screw up for you to be able to turn it around and do this to them. So yeah, I just want you to maybe start understanding that you know, there are different situations that exist. And so if you can start thinking to yourself, and think about, like, if you have lived life for, I don't know, 20, 30 years, then you could start going, think back on the situations you were in, or think back on situations that you heard from a friend, and then think about, were those assault situations? Were those fighting situations? Or were those self-defense situations? Which one of the three would have been the best tool for you to use? So that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.